Hello everyone and welcome to another speed build, and today this is what we've got. It is a fall inspired Japanese styled home, and I built this in Mount Komorabi. So yeah, let's see what I did and how I did it. Let's go. So I should probably explain what I'm doing. That might help. So what I'm doing is like a little mini self-challenge, and it's like a little series. So I have built a shell, right? So you can see the shell there. And the whole idea behind this is that I am going to dress the shell and landscape it and decorate it in 4 different ways. So I'm going to do it for each season. So this season we're doing fall, and then I'll do winter, spring, and then summer. So it's going to be like a 4-week series, and I thought that'd be quite fun to do, something a little bit different, and trying to do, get different vibes out of each of the same building, different vibe, is kind of what I was going for. So in this particular build, being fall, I'm going for like sort of your oranges and your warm sort of tones of brown was sort of the vibe I was going, well, the colours I was going for to catch the fall kind of vibe. I do have regrets about choosing this particular lot. I kind of wish I had chosen a slightly bigger lot. I don't know what it is with me, but I like to cram in builds on like small lots, and I don't know why. I should give myself more room for landscaping. I mean, I think it came out really well, and I like actually using the smaller lots. But yeah, I kind of do wish I'd used a different lot. Plus, with this lot, there's like lots of like power lines all around it, as you can sort of see there. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, kind of a weird lot, that one. I don't know that I've ever built on it before, so I did have a few regrets about choosing this specific lot. But in saying that, I think the build came out really nice, and I was really happy with it. So, and it's not like I needed heaps of room for this. I mean, like, a Japanese kind of style house is not always going to be something that has like a whole heap of landscaping and a whole lot of land around it. So it kind of makes sense to be on a smaller lot anyhow. But yeah, I think I'm not going to stick to the same lot for every build, so it'll be quite different for each of the different seasons and stuff as to how it all sort of comes out and how it looks. So I'm excited to see how this little mini series turns out. I did get a suggestion for doing a fall inspired Japanese style house from someone on Twitter, so thank you very much for the suggestion, because I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great idea, and I haven't done like a Japanese style build in ages, probably since Snowy Escape came out. Oh no, I have done one since then, but yeah, I don't do them that often, and I was quite delighted by the idea. I was like, oh, you know what, that's great. The other thing is, I live in New Zealand, and you may not have noticed, but I have a bit of an accent. Yeah, anyway, I live in New Zealand, so we are actually kind of the opposite as far as seasons go. So I know a lot of all the northern hemisphere is heading into autumn, or fall as the Americans call it, but yeah, I'm heading into spring. So, so I hadn't actually thought of doing a full build, to be honest, because it's spring for me here. But I thought, if I'm doing a build for each of the seasons, then I cover everybody, and everybody gets their season covered at the very least. Because I mean, there's only going to be spring and fall, but I wanted to not leave summer and winter out of the equation. You never know when you need like a wintry Japanese inspired house or a summery one. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So as you can see here, I'm just getting a few pumpkins in the garden. And then I changed my mind about having the grasses in the garden. I decided that I actually wanted to have a little bit more colour. So I'm going for orange as it is. Because I mean, that's a nice fall colour, autumn colour as it is. So yeah, so I got some pumpkins in there, like the little pumpkins are popping up in the garden because it's the season for pumpkins. I honestly don't know what pumpkin season is. I really don't know. But yeah, I've never grown a pumpkin, but I'm going to pretend it's fall. So there you go. Pumpkin is a fall kind of vegetable. I don't know. Anyway, back to the builds and my lack of gardening knowledge about anything. So I did like a sort of a tranquility kind of little sandy kind of garden. That was the idea behind this. I'm just working out what kind of seeding I want to do for this. Now this is not a limited pack build, so this uses all the currently available packs. I don't use or build with CC. Aside from the Obsessed Simmers CC that I use in gameplay on our collab channel, which is the Sim Fates. If you haven't checked it out, it's well worth a check out. I've got an Occult Rags to Riches series there, which you might be interested in. It's a lot of fun. Anywho, aside from her little bit of CC that I use, I don't use CC or mods at all. I'm very much a vanilla player when it comes to Sims. 99% of that is because of my computer, to be honest. It's really not up to the task of having a lot of mods and CCs stuck on it on top of all the games I have in it. So it's doing the best it can with what it's got, but I don't want to like put too much pressure on it. So I just stick to what the Sims gives us. So part of the shell I made, I was kind of inspired, I think it was by Deligracy's Mount Kamarabi build that she did. I think it was Deligracy's one. And she had like that covered walkway in the house. I think, I can't remember which address that is. But it's one of the bigger builds, I think. I'm playing on it in my personal legacy that I've started. And that's why I was quite familiar with it, because I'm actually currently playing on that particular lot at the moment, and I really liked the idea of the covered in walkway. It sort of felt quite Japanese, and yeah, worked. And I love that tree. That's a gorgeous tree. Thank you very much, Island Living. I wouldn't have thought like an Island Living for a Japanese inspired build, but that makes sense, and it looks really pretty. It's autumnal looking, so yeah, that really worked for me. So I just got to have a little garden down the side, doing a bit of terrain paint, and I'm just going to use a little bit of the sort of the orangey, drier kind of looking items, flowers and that sort of thing, just to colour around the tree, the base of the tree. Oh, and I've got a little pool in there too, so it's not like a giant pool, but it's like a little pool. I did think about whether or not I wanted to put a hot pool, sort of the hot springs in instead, but I decided to go with the pool because I thought you would get more function out of that. Even though the hot springs are kind of more Japanese style, yeah, I did want to make it still quite a functional home to live in too. And then that lovely tree that you get with Snowy Escape, I do love that. It's like a red maple or something, Japanese maple, maybe, I forget. Oh, and this was a cute little area. I just kind of had this vision in my head that this would be like a little tranquil kind of island where you could go to meditate or spend some time with the spiritual side. So that's what I sort of did there, and added in, because it's fall, some leaves. So we got leafy water, just giving it a little bit of a drier kind of fallish look with a bit of orange in there. Some of the lily pads, you can't see them too clearly because of the leafy water, but I wanted to keep the leafy water simply because it suited the vibe of the season. So going back around the front, I found this leafy autumny seasons thing. I think it's supposed to be like a little table or display thing, but anyhow, I used it out in the garden. Just spreading a little bit more of the tranquil sort of garden vibe around the side. I didn't want to go overboard with the flowers and stuff. I thought a little bit around the front was kind of, and tiny bit around the back was going to be enough. Didn't need to be too much at this kind of time of year. I think, your summer and spring, you want to go more for the flowers and that sort of thing. and give more abundancy there. So I put in like the little lantern and the little temple thing, and I moved that fountain. Is it a fountain? Yes, I'm going to say yes. Around the front into the little sand garden, because I thought, well, that's kind of be like one of those things where you might sit there and just listen to the beautiful trickling of the water, and it's peaceful and meditative, and yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for with this. But, you know, warm and cozy at the same time, because we're going for cozy because it's fall. Oh, and I found that sort of the wreath. I picked out a couple of things that I found that I thought worked quite well for the season. So that wreath, and then there's like a horn of plenty or something like that. Oh, and I thought this orange tree was perfect. I was like, oh, that is just going to sit perfectly on the porch. And then I went with orange outside furniture. I think that's the season stuff, isn't it? Yeah, season stuff on there. So just bringing in that orange warm sort of vibe. And I'll do different colours for different things. And I actually use the snowy escape lighting around the place just to bring a bit of more Japanese flair to the build. And I had columns all over the place, and I was just sort of fixing those up. I did struggle a little bit just with getting the... I guess I wanted to have like a barbecue and stuff like that around the back, but it wasn't a lot of space to work with. So I was like, how am I going to make this work? I mean, it's not a big home at the end of the day. It's 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, I think, or maybe it's 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. It's only 2 bedrooms anyway. But oh yeah, I got there in the end. So I sort of didn't want to have it too crammed in there. But I did want to make it quite livable, as far as, you can still have some activity and stuff outside. So, you got your pool, you got seats outside, you got your little meditation areas. But it turned out that the seating actually ended up being quite good around the different sides of the walkway, and I think you can still get around it. I actually don't think I've play tested it. Have I play tested it? I can't remember. I think I actually, no, I did. I usually do. I try to anyway. I may miss things, but I do try to play test them. So I think we're just about done with the outside. I've still got some little bits and pieces to do around the back of the garden. So I'm just putting some more leaves around the bottom of that tree. I thought that kind of worked, and like more around the bottom of the chair, just like it's a little collection of fallen leaves. Oh, so sweet. And yeah, just fixing up the terrain paint and just doing a bit more around the under the fences, around the paths and around the gardens and that sort of thing, just to add a little bit more realism to it, a little bit more depth to the build with the landscaping. Round we go. And then I'm going to head inside. I still do have a little bit to do outside, but part of the roof was sticking through into the room, and so I had to fuss around with that and just work out how I was going to do that. Anyway, sorted it out, just a little bit of tweaking, and we got there. And there is a little bit of the roof sticking up at the front, but I have fixed that off camera. I fixed that, I'm pretty sure. Then I had trouble with the stairs because I put them there, and then I realised that they didn't go anywhere. They didn't connect to anything. Oh, yeah. I just assumed that if they got sat there that they would actually go somewhere, but they didn't. And I did end up extending the house a little bit and changing that around, simply because I wanted to do like a sunken dining room, and then I realised that I couldn't do a sunken dining room with that foundation. Anyhow, I think the dining room actually worked out better being a little bit bigger anyway, but it just took a little bit of fussing around with the roofs, and then I extended the width of the walkway on that one side. So that gave me a little bit more room around that side, however, so I could add in some more seating. So I do switch that around a little bit, which I'll do now, I believe. There we go. And just put some more decoration around the place, and another plant. I do like that plant, but it was a little bit too big for that space. I think that's a more bigger space plant, that one. I do love that plant as well, but it just didn't quite work where I wanted it. But I went with that one, and then just a little I did play around with the plants and I decided I'd just have like a little stone seating or something there, and then changed out the wooden seating for stone seating around the back. So that's my dining room area there. And just working out the floor plan for how that's all going to sit. So as you can see, I sort of went down, and then I will realise eventually that that stuffed up my foundation. So anywho, I will fix that up later. So I often have like an open plan kind of living, dining, kitchen, and I do have it sort of it's still sort of there, but I did have like very much a separate dining area. So you see here I'm moving the stairs because I realised that where I had them wasn't working, and at a later point I will then realise that the stairs block the entire room behind it and I can't get a door there. I had a bit of a mare when it came to the stairs. Oh dear, oh dear. Anywho, back to the dining room, which was a separate area. So I will, as I said, I will often quite often have it just sort of open flow carrying on from the kitchen, but I did want to have it sort of separate in this particular build. And I'm putting in some of the tea furniture, so it's like the tea storage kind of thing. So it's all about the tea in this room, and a lovely family kind of dining, and you see it 2 levels at the moment, but that will change just to a flat simply because of logistics of the foundation. I did play around with it for a little while, just with cupboards and that sort of thing, and how that was all going to sit, but went for simpler rather than more complicated. And then I had to work out flooring. I mean, the tatami mat actually made a lot of sense, obviously, being a Japanese-style home, but I ended up going with something else because I wasn't really happy with it. Mainly because of this big stripe down it. I was just like, meh. Yeah. So I ended up going with a lighter wood rather than going with the tatami mat. So this is where I realised that the steps had happened, what happened? The dip had to disappear. I don't know. Yeah, dear. So anyway, doing the kitchen here, I actually end up redoing this completely. So I built the whole thing out, and I just, I don't know. I mean, I get on one point, on one side, I like the counters having the flexibility of being able to put stuff underneath. I think that's good, but I also like not having to put stuff underneath the counters. That sounds ridiculous, but yeah, I don't know. I just decided that it wasn't quite what I wanted for the kitchen, so I dress it out fully, and then I was just like, nah, I will go with something else. So I did go with something else, but this is a majority of how the kitchen sort of is laid out, and some of the clutter that goes in there, like the dishes from Parenthood, I want to say, and the dish rack, and just putting bits and pieces on top of the fridge. So a cozy sort of casserole dish. I mean, you want to be making like warmer sort of dishes going into fall, so I thought casserole, that would make sense. And some herbs up on the wall. I sort of felt like, a bit of greenery in the kitchen would make sense for a Japanese style home too, I think. It's been a while since I've been in a Japanese home, so I can't remember whether or not they had greenery in their kitchens, but oh well, in my mind they do. So there we go. So coming up to the last bit of clutter that I'm going to put into the kitchen, and then the stuff that is going under the sink. So I used the horse ranch plates. Those plates are fantastic. And then you've got your snowy escape ones as well. But I absolutely love the horse ranch plates. I mean, they're perfect for clutter in the kitchen. And for shelves like this, I mean, that's ideal. And just using the everyday clutter, I think it is, kit for the cups. We should have more cups in the game. Anyway, yeah, so as you can see there's sort of the kitchen going in, and it felt way too busy to me. because I think Japanese homes are more about simplicity and that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know, there was something bugging me about it, and it was sticking away in my brain as I was doing this whole area and working on other things, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna have to change it after all that. So I did it like another little sunken area for the hall entrance. I don't think it I didn't check. I need to check actually the foundation on that just to make sure that it didn't ruin the foundation there, but I didn't notice it being ruined, so that's a good thing. And I just did like a little darker section for that at the front with the floors. Oh, and then I was playing around with the colours in the kitchen, and that's sort of when I was like, I've really got to change this kitchen. It's not working for me at all. So I actually went for a slightly warmer colour on the walls, and I think that actually made a nice difference in the kitchen too. What am I doing now? Oh, columns. So putting some columns on the edges, and this is where I started playing with the foundation, and then realised the inside was like changing. So, okay, and then this is me going in to change what I want to do with the kitchen. So I wanted to keep the dark wood because I thought that sort of worked, and ended up doing, you guys know that I never remember the name of this stuff pack, this ice cream stuff pack. I just do not know the name of it. I just can't remember it at all. Anyway, I went with that particular kitchen counter setup. I do really like that kitchen counter setup. It's modern, and I thought it still really fit the Japanese style vibe. I did want to keep like a bar there too, so I ended up using the patio stuff pack bar from that, because that actually works really nicely with the ice cream stuff pack kitchen counters I have found. Alright, so in that corner, oh yeah, so it's going to be a two bathroom home. So it's a half bath and a full bathroom upstairs. So this is going to be a little bathroom going in here. Nothing too complicated. Just a toilet and a sink basically. And I'm going to put some blinds in to cover the window so you've got privacy. Privacy is important, don't you know? Particularly in the bathroom. You don't want all the neighbours walking past and seeing what you're doing in the bathroom. So I put some of the Basegame blinds in, and then I realised that there was some nice, I think, snowy escape ones. So I'm just working out the layout of the living area at this point. So I'm going to do like quite a big TV up on the wall, and some little units to go under the TV, so we can put some decorative stuff under there. And I chose those ones because of the greenery underneath, to be honest, and I felt like, you know, a little bit of greenery like that would be quite nice in that style of home, because there's not like a whole lot of plants in this particular build. So I thought adding greenery when I could would make sense. So this is me just working on the snowy escape blinds in the bathroom, because I was like, oh, well, I should use those. Those would make sense. Is that grown together couch? It's either grown together or horse ranch, I think. I end up changing that end table. I just didn't think it had the right vibe. It was more about woods than it was metals for this particular build. So yeah, so I went for wood style furniture over metal style furniture. As much as I would have loved to use a lot more of the Modern Luxe kit. I mean, I did use a bit of it upstairs, I admit. But I did want to keep it like as much wood as I can. But I did use like that lovely table. Is that from the Oasis kit? The Oasis... Oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, it sort of had that gold tone, and I thought that worked. Despite my saying about having a lot of wood, I thought that actually the metal there actually worked quite well with the rug and bringing in the chocolate and gold tones. And I was just sort of family house, so hiding some board games under a table. I mean, if you have kids, I mean, you kind of do that sort of thing. It's just like, where am I going to put this? Just like under a table, out of my way. So I built this like little study area here, and at some point soon I'm going to realise that I can't get into the next room, and I'm going to have to destroy it all. As much as I really wanted a little study area out in the living area, it wasn't on the cards. Yeah, this is when Velvet realizes I can't get in there. I'm like, oh no, I have to change the stairs again. So anyhow, I got there in the end. But it did mean that just because putting a study sort of nook in there was just going to be a bit weird. So I just did a little seating area instead, using a bit more of the sort of orange tones and keeping in with the feeling of the wood again. But I added in a bit of glass, so just keeping it on a modern side as well. And using those lovely rugs from the Modern Luxe kit. I love that kit, it's so good. I couldn't help myself. I was just like, I have to put some of that stuff in here. It's just come out, I want to play with it more. And there's also the gorgeous planter as well. I really like that plant there. And I'm just looking for something to go in that corner, so I needed some artwork and, I don't know, maybe a plant? Yeah, just a Basegame plant went in there. Then I had this big space through here, so I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. I kind of felt really weird to put like a chess table right past the entrance. So I decided to put it in that corner, and then just decided on like a rug and a table just to go in that space, because that made the most sense over, I don't know, having like anything else there. So just using the Eco Living table, I think it is there. And I changed that rug, but I think that rug's from, I want to say, the Industrial Loft kit. Pretty sure that's a kit one. Okay, and then into the downstairs bedroom. So it's just a little double bedroom going in here. Kept it pretty simple. Tried to bring in some of the warm colours. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit sick at the moment, so my words are a little bit blocked up. Sorry. I'm doing my best past a unfortunate nose. Let's call it that. So I went with the Modern Luxe blue in this bedroom. So I'm just trying to work out what rug's going to go with that, because the rug that came with the Modern Luxe kit, I love it, but it didn't have any blue tones in it. It was more sort of chocolates and golds and whites, and I sort of didn't think that was going to fit in this room. So I didn't use that particular rug in this room, but I used the curtains, and I love the curtains because I've got some shape to them. That's quite lovely. As much as I love the Modern Luxe mirror, which you can see there with the gold, I ended up changing that. I wanted to fit like a vanity there, but that wasn't happening. And I couldn't move the door over because of where the rest of the room on the other side sat. So I ended up building like a little wardrobe that went around the door. So it's like a double kind of wardrobe thing, using the Home Deluxe kit. I'm like, as far as the colour went, I mean, it wasn't a perfect match for what was on the bed. I mean, that just wasn't happening. So I just went for a lighter wood, and I felt that kind of worked better. That worked better. Okay. So we are headed upstairs, and I realised that at this point I didn't have, I put the fencing in, and I was like, oh, hang on, I don't have a full bathroom. They're going to need a shower somewhere in the house. So I'm just adding in a bathroom up there. And yeah, basically it's just going to be an ensuite for the upstairs bedroom, but it's going to have to be used by the downstairs bedroom as well. I mean, oh well. It happens. Sometimes if you don't have a lot of room, you got to do these things. So just adding in a bit of clutter on the back of the back of the toilet and the back of the sink, and getting in a growing together mirror and hand towel. I'm just flipping between the two bathrooms. You might not have been able to tell that from the speed I was going at on this one, but I have forgotten the hand towel down the bottom in the bottom bathroom, so I was adding that in as well. Just keeping it pretty simple in the bathroom, really, just using the same tiling that I used in the bathroom and the kitchen downstairs, and the browns. So then I go, because it's the upstairs and it actually had like a different wood colour from the downstairs, because the downstairs was a darker wood and I used a lighter wood up here. I actually went for more brown tones up in this particular room, and the Modern Luxe kit was perfect for that. So I used the Modern Luxe bed, and then the side table, and the chair, and the rug. Actually, I didn't use the rug underneath the bed because it just didn't quite work. But what? Oh yeah, because I wanted to bring in, I don't know. I wanted to bring like a plainer rug in there, and centre the bed instead of having the bed on the side. I just couldn't do it. So then I was looking at. So then I was looking at artwork for the walls, and then put the Snowy Escape stuff in, and then I was like, oh, hang on, why don't I use the Modern Luxe artwork? Because I mean, that's going to work tonally with the room. And then I realised I was missing windows, so I put some more windows in and some more curtains. And then I realised I wanted to put in a fireplace, because I mean, it's fall, you want to have a nice snuggly fireplace. So I put the TV in. That is the Modern Luxe TV going in there, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to put a nice fire underneath there. Unfortunately, the Snowy Escape fire just didn't quite work in the room because I needed to have the TV above it and it just looked weird. So I used the Spooky Pack one, and then I've got the lovely cushions going on the, I think that's a Pastel Pop couch, I think, from there, and just a bit of firewood from the Werewolf Pack and the Basegame fire poker things. And then I was going to have like a little study area. I needed a computer somewhere in the house, so I fussed around with what I wanted for the desk for ages, because I just like couldn't decide. But I tell you what, that high school, I think it's a high school year's chair, actually works so nicely with that rug, because it's got like the same sort of tones through it, like golden, cream and pink and white, and it's really nice. Oh, and I wanted to have like a bookcase on there, and I was like, that's not working. So it's a bit of like, I don't know, making my mind up about certain things. Anyway, got there in the end, because I didn't want to have like a desk that just didn't match tonally with the woods, the rest of the room. I didn't want it to look like, you know, weird and out of place. I got there in the end. And just putting in some more of the Snowy Escape artwork, and then I had to decide on what I wanted to do for these windows. Decided that I didn't want to do those particular blinds, but use those blinds there from the pet stuff kit. That's our build. So let's take a look at what we did. So as you can see there, I fixed the roof around the front, and we've got our foundation in place there. It's a lovely, lovely. Even if I couldn't dip it down so that I could have my sunken room, that's fine. I love all the colours. I feel like it does really suit the fall vibe with the sort of rich and cozy browns. Oh, there's a foundation issue there at the back. Okay, I'll fix that. I did wonder if there was going to be more foundation because it just kept on switching around. Anywho, so, and I've got the lovely trees which I think add to the vibe. And going around to the side of the house there, yeah, definitely got a foundation there to fix. That's cool, not a biggie. So I'll do that before I put that up on the gallery tonight. And going around to the front of the house, so you've got your oranges and your pumpkins and your leaves, and yeah, I think it's actually a really good mix and it worked really well. I'm excited to explore the rest of the seasons and see what I did there. Oh, and I wanted to do it in the fall, so this is how the house looked in the fall rather than summer, which is when I normally do my tours. So then going through to the rest of the house on the inside. So once again, just carrying through lots of brown tones, pops of little bits of orange and some cozy vibes with the blankets and the board games under there, like you'll be staying inside on those cold evenings and maybe playing board games or reading your magazines. But I still wanted to keep sort of like a modernish simplistic kind of thing going on there. Not too much clutter, because I felt like, ooh, something's sticking through the roof there. I'll fix that too. The things you see when you're doing a tour, eh? Yeah, I didn't want to make it too cluttered, because I didn't think that was more sort of that Japanese vibe. I didn't think roofs stuck through ceilings normally, so that's weird. Yep. So into the little corner with the couch, the little sort of sitting area under the stairs, and then going through to the dining room, which once again, I mean, I kept it pretty simple at the end of the day. I didn't want to get it too cluttered, but I think, you know, suits the vibe of the house, and with the dark woods and that sort of thing, I think that's really nice. And then going back inside, we are going to head upstairs. Here we go. So you see what I mean about that chair? That sort of really works really well with that rug. And this is basically a modern luxe bedroom. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But I think the vibe worked really well with the house, so that is okay with me. I love all the browns and the creams, and just all the shades of brown in this one, and the awesome TV up above the fireplace. And I think it's nice and cozy. So that was our build. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun, and I will be continuing the series, so look out for winter next. It'll be good. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.